here that you've seen today is the Emerald Necklace, which I think is really fantastic, no doubt about that. Zone T1, T2. Maintain a suburban auto-dependent land use and focus a susceptibility to change primarily in the kind of the downtown area. The Golden Circle. Focus to develop and propose transit stops. And of course, what I call the silver lining is that we provide all our affordable housing needs in a very reasonable and I think in a beautiful way. Now, the Emerald Necklace, as you know, no future development needs are necessary. If we focus around the train stations, which I think are perfectly possible to begin to do, and it's just indicated, the master plan is the one step, but the next one is actually to develop a zoning code to be able to do this, and we think that that's possible. And then, of course, the silver lining is, however you want to do this, with the need, the plans that you saw this morning, not including the ones that we didn't show you, have a total estimated need of 680 units. If it's low and moderate, we need to provide 3,400 new or rehabilitated units in the town to get our fair share of low and moderate market. Now, what happened is if you actually look at everything that was presented today, there's 3,800 units in just what we saw today. That's not including the ones that were not shown. So which means that not only can the town accommodate its low and moderate income housing need, it can also provide literally 2,500 additional market rate units that could be the missing middle, could be affordable housing for the people or teachers and fire people and what have you in the town itself. And so what it does, it says that putting all of this stuff together could actually provide what the town needs. Now, a lot of you are going to say, well, these are just a bunch of, pie in the sky dreams. How in the world are we going to get a transit system? Well, one of those thoughts was the university is running empty buses.
Oh, yeah.
Why not have the university? I mean, by the way, as you know, I have the greatest respect for the Princeton University. I mean, not only are they the #1 university in the United States, but I was just read a New York Times thing that for each person enrolled in that school, the endowment is almost $8 million. $8 million per kid. The question now starts to become, they're doing everything right. Building intercept parking facilities, going green, going sustainability. They're doing everything that I think is right, with the exception of they're building their own little kingdom. And I think it's time that somehow or another, and I think that could be done to the point of, rather than having those buses run empty for all practical purposes, have them populate the Golden Loop right away. Have them do that right away. Now, the other thing that's really interesting is that, the implement of any of the transit stops require overlay zoning, and that's what Justin referred to. I'm recommending that you do not hire some hack firm, and I'll be perfectly honest with you, that does a Euclidean zoning code or tries to amend the existing zoning code which is in place, because it is awful. It is awful, it is hard to work with, you have to go before the zoning board. I just think it just needs to be thrown out or used as the base underneath. What it needs is an overlay zone, and it should be, in my opinion, should be a form-based code which is illustrated and written and not just written. And I think the developers are required to provide off-site improvements. I can't do that because I can just do my site. I'll put 2 trees on my site, but I won't give you any more money for any more trees because I can't afford it or some bullshit like that. Which I think is really ridiculous, because I think there needs to be a series of off-site improvements. And essentially, if they do not accept those, then you go to the existing zoning. Leave the existing zoning in place. You want to go to the zoning board? You want to have Steve and the boys and the ladies deal with it? Then you go ahead and do that. And you spend a gazillion dollars on your lawyers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But do an overlay zoning that really starts to make some sense, and use it based on the Transect system. I mean, it's being done all over the country. There's no reason why it can't be done. Absolutely no reason why it can't be done. So this is obviously #1, and hopefully Clark Caton and his has the capability of defining exactly where it is. The Golden Ring is easy with the stops. That could be focused in design on, we think. And then what I think is retaining most of the towns and suburbs, And then, again, combining the #1 university in the United States. And I think then, you put it together, you really got what I call the jewels of Princeton. You've got something absolutely extraordinary in this town, which is already an extraordinary town. Just taking it one step further could really create something which would be world class. And so one of the things that's interesting, the university put this up, and I thought it was good. Are we better together? Well, of course we're better together. But my question is, are we? And I think the university already said it's developing its own mini city. It came out and said that. I call it the kingdom. It's a dictated kingdom. It's cool, right? But now is the opportunity for the town, somehow or another, to match what the university has put together. And it seems to me that what people have said to us and have looked at the goals, and this is, I think, Justin's directly copied out of your master plan or whatever we saw was the possibility. We meet or exceed every one of these goals. This plan meets and exceeds every one of these goals, with probably the basis for overlay zoning for each of the transit stops. That's not in there. And of course, what we don't know, of course, is that how much the master plan has dealt with susceptibility to change. Here we've got land that's already set. We know what people want and where people would like to see development occur, or something to occur. I don't know that because I've not seen the master plan, but I'm sure I will because I'll attend one of these other meetings. But what I think is really fascinating and just kind of conclusive is we wanted your opinion. That was what Princeton Future is all about. We wanted your opinion, and now what we get is we really value your opinion. That your opinion has turned out to be a really valuable input on the actual plan itself. So, Kevin, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Tom.